Howdy folks, got something new from Vevor, and it looks really good. Always does around here, I'll tell you. They send me some pretty cool stuff. We're going to do a welding helmet with auto shade, and we're going to talk about auto shade and some of the misconceptions. This is a really fancy one. Really like it. Looks like it's going to be a really interesting product, and we'll have, of course, a nice link and a good discount below when we get done here. So let's check out Vevor's auto shade welding helmet. Yes. So I've laid the goodies out. There's a thunder and lightning storm here today, in case you hear something really weird in the background. But I took the box out and laid the stuff out. Now it looks really like, holy cow, but there's something this welding helmet has that is, I guess, different. I don't know if any of the other ones even supply this, but this one comes with a full kit for GoPro cameras. And in this case, this particular helmet, the GoPro kit for putting the GoPro on top is the GoPro 5, 6, and 7. So if you have one of those, you're in luck. You can film your welding. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's obviously the inside that's going to be sitting on your little noggin, and we have to install this, of course, in the helmet. But right now, I want to get the instructions out because I have a question. And here's the control package plus the shield that you're going to be looking through when you're welding. And auto darkening is so cool compared to the old fixed, lens, because of several things. One, they were pretty small to look through. You couldn't see what you were doing, and when you went to weld, you ended up trying to weld your finger to the metal or something. You're trying to figure out why the stick won't spark or something for you. There's also different settings on these things. I'll get into that, but first, right now, I just want to show you the basic things that are going on here with the features. And there's number one question here. Some of these helmets come with a battery, which, of course, this one, in fact, the battery's on, the digital readout is on right now even. And one of the big questions is, can you change the battery? So let's find out. Okay, the reason I'm making kind of a point about this is there's some very expensive welding helmets out there, and the batteries are built into them and you can't change them. And I would never buy that helmet ever again. I'm not saying whose product name or anything it was, but it was a more expensive shield than this one here for auto darkening, and the battery's built in. But I don't want that. I want to be able to put fresh batteries in at some point if I think it needs it. Now, I'll just cover one of the other myths too. When you're welding, these have small solar panels in there, little solar panels to pick up the electricity. They run the auto darkening at that point. They're not running off the battery. And so a lot of people misunderstand the use, like they put this out in the sun to try to charge the battery up or something, and they don't work that way. I haven't seen any that do. Just a quick close-up here, and I'll show you how to take one of these batteries out. I'll just pull one out of here. There's a little drawer at the bottom here, a little tab. You just sneak it out, and there's your flat little nickel cadmium, I think it's 2450 battery. So they're fairly easy to find or get off the internet, Amazon, wherever. And just pop that back in, and you've actually got two batteries. There's one on this side and one on this side. Now, that's kind of cool too, because this battery on this side is running the grinder mode. Grinding mode is when you actually have a button here, and you can put it on grinding mode. So what it'll do is when you're grinding, it won't auto darken on you, so you can't see what you're doing. So that's cool, but you got to make sure you don't leave it on that setting, obviously, because when you go back to welding, you don't want that happening. So great feature there, Vevor, and I love the control package too. And it has the delay and all the usual controls, and it's digital here, which is easy to read. You also get an extra shield, because as you're grinding, you will probably mess this up pretty good. And you also have some side plate shields here that you can use for blackening these out if you don't want that side view for some reason. I like having as much view as possible. Plus the shield itself, where you can actually see the work, is, as you can see, is relatively large. It's it's almost, it's probably about 4.5, 5. It's a good 5 by 5, whatever. It's a good size screen, so you can really look around the area to where you're working. So if you're doing it, especially, I find like MIG is one of my worst ones, because you hit the trigger, you can't see what's going on, and the wire starts feeding off, and you're sitting there wondering what happened, where's my wire, But with the auto shield, the auto darkening, excuse me, the auto darkening, you can see what's happening and you can see exactly what you're welding on. But I'm gonna pull my GoPro out that I have. I have a cheap knockoff one, and I just want to see if it'll fit this kit. Well, cheap me. My camera is, like I say, it's just a cheap knockoff type 4K camera. I use it for certain shots, and it doesn't work. It doesn't fit this thing. But this is comes with the helmet. It's the little casing, and all the there's a whole bag full of GoPro accessories. You can stick it on the helmet and mount the GoPro and film. So that's cool. Now, let's get over to this. So I'm going to close up on you a little bit so you can see the controls here, and we'll go over the buttons and the control package here so we can, you know, more relate to what's going on. Excuse the fingers, the fat fingers, whatever, but I'm going to tilt this up a little bit better so you can see it. There are 2 buttons here. There's a couple of buttons up and down here, plus a button here for mode. And you've got, let's just go for, we'll just go with delay, I guess. A lot of people don't understand what delay is. Delay is for how long the auto darkening stays on until you're finished your work. So in other words, when you finish, it should, you know, go back to full light. But the thing is, a lot of times you don't really want that. You kind of want it to come off slowly, so you can up that or down that according to the number on this side. So you've got delays that are 1 through 9. You also have the darkening itself. You can have this thing go really dark and also very sensitive. So you can adjust your sensitivity, which means it can be darker or lighter than to begin with, and then go darker once you start welding. And the other thing you've got here is of course, like I said, was the button for the mode here, where you can set it for grinder for a minute. So if you're grinding, you know, you can have full shield on and protection. Yeah, so it's a nice control package. It's fairly easy to understand, I believe, and to read and use. Now, when you're welding, your solar is feeding that auto darkening. Okay, I just want to make really clear on that, because a lot of people get confused over they're charging the battery or something. Like, no, the battery's not keeping the auto dark on. What's keeping it is the light coming from the welding is feeding the solar package, which in turn is keeping the auto dark on for you. So just trying to make sure that's clear. I guess the next feature we're going to take a quick look at is this right here. This is what's sitting on your head, and it's got a really nice rubberized sweatband kind of thing for the forehead. Has a huge back clamp area here, which hopefully will be comfortable in the back of your head to help keep everything in place. And of course, you've got your 3 straps over the top. Now, all 3 of these are adjustable, so this thing can be really customized. If your head is, you know, an odd shape, not really. I mean, everybody's head is different shape, so you can adjust a lot of goodies on here. You can also adjust the pivot point up the front, further forward, further back. So there's a lot here to make this thing as comfortable as possible for you for when you're welding, because you know yourself, when you're welding, a lot of times you got to run around with these things, you know, all day long, and it takes a lot. So this has been designed to try to make as much adjustment and comfort as possible, and it looks good. And again, this is from our friends over at Vevor. I want to thank them again for sending this thing over. It is a nice welding helmet, and it's a lot better than any of the ones I even have. In fact, this one surpasses the last one I just bought, which is not that long ago. This is a better helmet. It's like, oh, it's like, God. Okay, I put the headgear on top of the helmet, and there's a notch on this side that will help locate this little square that goes through the square hole. Only the knobs, the plastic little knobs, go on the outside. Everything else goes on the inside. Now, the first time I put it on, it wasn't right, and I had to take it back off immediately and make some adjustments. So the nice thing is once you get this thing on, you're gonna have to take it on and off a couple times, make some adjustments until you get it to your comfort level, whatever, you know. But it is totally adjustable. In fact, I even backed the bands back a little bit, brought it down. There's a little stop on this side, which is that famous clicker noise that you always hear when you're, you know, turning your helmet up and down. And then you can tighten the knobs real good so that everything is held in place, and you can just slap that on and off as you need it, and you know, you got yourself the auto shade, which is, yeah, this is a nice helmet, and it looks so cool that it almost looks like you might be motorcycle riding or something, or out in the woods. That's pretty cool. That's a nice looking finish. Now the GoPro stuff, I was going to sort of jump over that a little bit. Also, of course, there's an extra screen for the front here, and like I said, the side packs for closing these off if you don't want to see out the sides for some reason. The GoPro stuff, like I said, it's just a whole bag full of goodies, and I guess we'll get some of it out just to show it to you. But you've got like this piece here, which can go on the top of the helmet. You can have your, you know, camera, and then you've got sticky pads, and just a pile of different GoPro accessories to mount the GoPro on the helmet. Looks like they've given you just everything. Look at this thing. I mean, there's a mess of this stuff here. Just everything you could possibly need to put the GoPro somewhere. And you've got all kinds of sticky pads. So I guess around the shop you could have GoPro mounts for different positions or something for your GoPro. And again, I'll just remind you too, GoPro 5, 6, and 7 is what this particular model takes, which I haven't even checked the prices. I guess that's an older GoPro by these standards today, but I would assume that's probably a pretty common one, I guess. Wow, what an interesting topic, but did not expect to spend that much time on it, to tell you the truth, today. But hey, you know, thank you for watching Caulking Tools. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the notice bell. And again, links down below where you can find this, and I'm out of here. Over and out.